Good morning. Welcome to your session on a terrific Tuesday. Let's start our day with pixel programming and thinking about our dreams coming true. So it is. Let's start. Ritesh sir, let's have the music. Yes. You're a winner for life. Okay, so let's start the music again. Once again, let's start the music. Yes, we're a winner in our life. How wonderful. So let's start the morning with Ikigai. So, like yesterday, I asked you all the questions. Do you want to go in detail, every single exercise, or how do you want to go about it? So we'll start the chapter. Sanya, would you want to read? So today is chapter 8. Okay, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, let's bring on the artist face, Ritesh sir. So today is about week 7, recovering a sense of connection. We turn this week to the practice of right attitudes for creativity. The emphasis is on your receptive as well as active skills. The essays, exercises, and tasks aim at excavating areas of genuine creative interest as you connect with your personal dreams. So it's all about our personal dreams, how we'll all come together. And again, I say exercises are very important, tasks are very important. Recovering a sense of connection, listening. The most beautiful art is listening. Now let's talk about this beautiful art. Sanya, are you all unmute yet or not yet? Ritesh, so you have to unmute Sanya, please. Sanya, please raise your hand so I can unmute you. Yes. Let's start, please.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Listening. The ability to listen is a skill we are honing with both our morning pages and our artist states. The pages train us to hear past our tensor. The artist dates help us to pick up the voice of inspiration. While both of these activities are apparently unconnected to the actual act of making art, they are critical to the creative process. Art is not about thinking something up, it is about the opposite, getting something down. The directions are important here. If we are trying to think something up, we are straining to reach for something that's just beyond our grasp. Up there, in the stratosphere, where art lives on high. When we get something down, there's no strain. We are not doing, we are getting. Someone or something else is doing the doing. Instead of reaching for inventions, we are engaged in listening. When an actor
What do
is
we
in
understand out of this? So we understand that creativity is always there. We have been made with creativity. It's up there in the stratosphere where art is living high, but we have had to disconnect. So now it's time for us to bring that art down, and we are gradually bringing that down, inching towards that by writing our morning pages and by going on our artist dates. It's opening our horizons, and we are now kind of ready for it. So now, rather than reaching for inventions, we're engaged in listening to our mind, our body, our soul. We are starting to listen. So yes, please, let's continue.
When an actor is in the moment, he or she is engaged in listening for the next right thing creatively. When a painter is painting, he or she may begin with a plan, but that plan is soon surrendered to the painting's own plan. This is often expressed as the brush takes the
So
next
please,
stroke.
yes. Sanya, please be careful when you restart reading. So the research page should change as well. Thank you.
This is often expressed as the brush takes the next stroke. In dance, in composition, in sculpture, the experience is the same. We are more the conduit than the creator of what we express. Art is an act of tuning in and dropping down the well. It is as though all the stories, painting, music, performances in the world live just under the surface of our normal consciousness. Like an underground river, they flow through us as a stream of ideas that we can tap down into. As artists, we drop down the well into the stream. We hear what's down there and we act on it, more like taking dictation than anything fancy having to do with art. A friend of mine is a superb film director who is known for his meticulous planning, and yet he often shoots most brilliantly from the seats of his pants, quickly grabbing a shot that comes to him as he works. These moments of clear inspiration require that we move into them on faith. We can practice these small leaps of faith daily in our pages and on our artist dates. We can learn not only to listen, but also to hear with increasing accuracy that inspired, intuitive voice that says, do this, try this, say this.
How many of you have realized about this? That you are being guided internally to do something, to try something, to say something, which you haven't done usually. Now, if when we start listening, when we start going for our dates, when we start opening our clogs, all this starts unfolding. Starhawk says, in the esoteric Judaism of the Kasabla, the deep sea is named the Nishama, from the root of Sham, to hear or listen. The Nishama is the she who listens, the soul who inspires or guides us. Our soul is forever guiding us, inspiring us, telling us to try something, doing something, saying something. The minute we start going into our artistic dates, which hopefully by now a lot of us have done, and the minute you're working on it, 6, 7 weeks you've done that, you'll start hearing much more deeper commands from your higher self. Let's continue.
Most writers have had the experience of catching a poem or a paragraph or two of formed writing. We consider these finds to be small miracles. What we fail to realize is that they are, in fact, the norm. We are the instrument more than the author of our work. Michelangelo is said to have remarked that he released David from the marble block he found him in. The painting has a life of its own. I try to let it come through, said Jackson Pollock. When I teach screenwriting, I remind my students that their movie already exists in its entirety. Their job is to listen for it, watch it with their mind's eye, and write it down. The same may be said of all art. If painting and sculptures wait for us, then sonatas wait for us. Books, plays, and poems wait for us too. Our job is simply to get them down. To do that, we drop down the well. Some people find it easier to picture the stream of inspiration as being like radio waves of all sorts being broadcast at all times. With practice, we learn how to hear the desired frequency on request. We tune in to the frequency we want. Like a parent, we learn to hear the voice of our current brainchild among the other children's voices. Once you accept that it is natural to create, we can begin to accept a second idea that the Creator will hand you whatever you need for the project. The minute you are willing to accept the help of this collaborator, you will see useful bits of help everywhere in your life. Be alert. There is a second voice, a higher harmonic, adding to and augmenting your inner creative voice. This voice frequently shows itself in synchronicity. You will hear the dialogue you need, find the right song for the sequence, see the exact paint color you almost had in mind, and so forth. You will have the experience of finding things, books, seminars, tossed out stuff that happen to fit with what you are doing. Learn to accept the possibility that the universe is helping you with what you are doing. Become willing to see the hand of God and accept it as a friend's offer to help with what you are doing. Because many of us unconsciously harbor the feeling, fearful belief that God would find our creations decadent or frivolous or worse. We tend to discount this creator to creator help. Try to remember that God is the great artist. Artists like other artists. Expect the universe to support your dream. It will.
Very important to understand that universe has our back, life has our back. If we believe in that, a lot of beautiful synchronicities will happen. A lot of new things will keep coming up. Whatever you want, you'll be able to see that in the bookshelf if you have to buy a book. Whatever colors you want, you'll be able to see. You'll be guided to try something new, and it'll all come out like so beautifully. So the only thing about all of us is we have to release ourselves, which hopefully we have in these morning pages. It's very important to know that entirety is for us. The entire universe is already existing for us. All we have to do is create whatever we want, and that will only get enhanced, enhanced, enhanced. So we have to be an open and an avid listener. If we still haven't started listening, it's time to go to tune in inwards. You know, you're looking at bandwidth outside, but actually it's inwards. Listening is a form of accepting, says Stella Terrell Mann. So, very important. It's also a meditation. If you start listening, even if you look at yourself, most of us are trying to say something to some person, and very few of us are trying to hear. Even if somebody's saying something, your mind is like, okay, what do I say next? You're already weaving what you have to say. How many of us are listeners? If we can't listen to people outside, how will we be able to listen inside? So that is a reason why we were told to go on this artist date or to write the morning pages, so that we're just unblocking ourselves. So the people have writer's block, people have artistic block, creative block. That's what we're doing, deleting all kind of blockages. And let's read about perfectionism.
Perfectionism, Tilly Olson correctly calls it the knife of the perfectionist attitude in art. You may call it something else. Getting it right, you may call it, or fixing it before I go any further. You may call it having standards. What should what you should be calling it is perfectionism. Perfectionism has nothing to do with getting it right. It has nothing to do with fixing things. It has nothing to do with standards. Perfectionism is a refusal to let yourself move ahead. It is a loop, an obsessive, debilitating closed system that causes you to get stuck in the details of what you are writing or painting or making and to lose sight of the whole. Instead of creating freely and allowing errors to reveal themselves later as insights, we often get mired in getting the details right. We correct our originality into a uniformity that lacks passion and spontaneity. Do not fear mistakes, Miles Davis told us. There are none. The perfectionist fixes one line of a poem over and over until no lines are right. The perfectionist redraws the chin line on a portrait until the paper tears. The perfectionist writes so many versions of scene one that she never gets to the rest of the play. The perfectionist writes, paints, creates with one eye on her audience. Instead of enjoying the process, the perfectionist is constantly grading the results. The perfectionist has married the logic side of the brain. The critic reigns supreme in the perfectionist's creative household. A brilliant descriptive prose passage is critiqued with the white glove approach. Hmm, what about this comma? Is this how you spell? For the perfectionist, there are no first drafts, rough sketches, warm up exercises. Every draft is meant to be final, perfect, set in stone. Midway through a project, a perfectionist decides to read it all over, outline it, see where it's going. And where is it going? Nowhere very fast. The perfectionist is never satisfied. The perfectionist never says, "This is pretty good. I think I'll just keep going." To the perfectionist, there's always room for improvement. The perfectionist calls this humility. In reality, it is egotism. It is pride that makes us want to write a perfect script, paint a perfect painting, perform a perfect audition monologue. Perfectionism is not a quest for the best. It is a pursuit of the worst in ourselves, the part that tells us that nothing we do will ever be good enough, that we should try again. No, we should not. A painting is never finished. It simply stops in interesting places, said Paul Gardner. A book is never finished, but at a certain point, you stop writing it and go on to the next thing. A film is never cut perfectly, but at a certain point, you let go and call it done. That is a normal part of creativity, letting go. We always do the best that we can by the light we have to see by.
Very important to understand that there's nothing called perfectionism. Perfectionism is a state of mind which can very often be deceptive. If you're trying to perfect something, you're losing the focus. Now, people who are perfectionists are often ridiculed or they are garbed by their own shit. Why? Because they're not always logical. They are all the time into this is right, this is right, this is wrong. They're not going in the artistic way at all. And when that is happening, nothing good can happen. So that's why it says perfectionist has married the logic side of the brain. Just the logic works, and that's all that works. So we have to understand that we are not into perfectionism, we are into creativity. Whether we are writing, whether we're painting, whether we are going out, we're enjoying and having great time. Let life unfold. Do not keep trying to perfect something because the perfectionist will never ever be happy. There's always scope for improvement. Now, is that a good place to be in? Nothing can ever be complete because you only want to keep bettering, bettering it, bettering it. So let's just understand it's a pursuit of the worst in ourselves, the part that tells us that nothing we do will ever be good enough, that we should keep trying again. No, but that's not how it is. We have to live our life, give it our best, yes, undoubtedly, give it your 200% best. But there's no reason to people say, oh, I'm a perfectionist. In that case, that's truly something that you have to look into, because if you are a perfectionist, life can't be so beautiful for you, because you're stuck in some kind of a self imagery. Now let's read about risk. What is risk? The question that was posed was, what would I do if I didn't have to do it perfectly? Answer: a great deal more than I am. Agnes de Mille says, living is a form of not being sure, not knowing what next or how. The moment you know how, you begin to die a little. The artist never entirely knows. We guess. We may be wrong, but we take leap after leap in the dark. Isn't that beautiful? Keep trying until you succeed. Keep leaping, keep going up, up, up. You don't know what's the answer, but you keep trying. That's how beautiful it is. Yes, Anya, let's continue.
We've all heard that the unexamined life is not worth living, but consider too that the unlived life is not worth examining. The success of a creative recovery hinges on our ability to move out of the head and into action. This brings us squarely to risk. Most of us are practiced at talking ourselves out of risk. We are skilled speculators on the probable pain of self exposure. I look like an idiot, we say, conjuring images of our first acting class, our first Hobble short story, our terrible drawings. Part of the game here is lining up the masters and measuring our baby steps against their perfected craft. We don't compare our student films to George Lucas' student films. Instead, we compare them to Star Wars. We deny that in order to do something well, we must first be willing to do it badly. Instead, we opt for setting our limits at the point where we feel assured of success. Living within these bounds, we may feel stifled, smothered, despairing, bored. But yes, we do feel safe, and safety is a very expensive illusion. In order to risk, we must jettison our accepted limits. We must break through. I can't because I'm too old, too broke, too shy, too proud, self defended, timorous. Usually, when we say we can't do something, what we mean is that we won't do something unless we can guarantee that we'll do it perfectly. Working artists know the folly of this stance. There is a common joke among directors. Oh, yeah, I always know exactly how I should direct the picture after I'm done directing it. As blocked artists, we unrealistically expect and demand success from ourselves and recognition of that success from others. With that as an unspoken demand, a great many things remain outside our sphere of possibility. As actors, we tend to allow ourselves to be typecast rather than working to expand our range.
Let's get this very straight. So, what is this risk that we're talking about? Stepping out of a comfort zone, trying something which we haven't done something. Why don't we do that often? Why are we denying ourselves the pleasure of trying something which we have never ever tried? Why? Because of the very fact that we may fail, that is beyond our limits. The limits have been defined by us. We know that this is my limit. And haven't we heard from many people before that we're infinite, we're limitless? Then why these boundaries? Why feel stifled? Why smothered? Why despairing? Why bored? Why unsafe? Why all of this? Just because we're not ready to embrace the risk. You can't. Why you can't? Everything is possible. Some people say, no, I can't read. I tend to stutter. Okay, at least try. Try until you succeed. Keep stuttering. One day you'll become fluent. You have to get over this high horse of ours. Okay, this is where I am. This is what I can do max. Everyone can do everything possible. Don't have these blockages with you. Now, this is not just about artistic. We this is about art, right? And everything in life is art. So all of us are artists. It doesn't have to be a painting. It could be anything. Food is an art. You are an art. Dressing up is an art. Everything. Just because some people have told us sometime that तुम्हारे बस का नहीं है, तुम इसमें अच्छे हो, when we are growing up, now we have let that work on ourselves and that's become our boundary. Absolutely, Parul. So very important for us to understand that we are not victims of people. People can give whatever judgments they want. It doesn't matter. We have to become limitless. We have to start directing our lives the way we want to create the picture, not how others want to. Yeah, there's no harm in keeping the others' dreams also in the picture if they're in alignment with yours. No harm. If you can make others happy while making yourself happy, why not? But please have this thing, this entire confidence that I can do whatever I'm given. Once we do that, everything is possible. Can't a woman do whatever a man does? Can't a man does whatever a woman does? Everyone can do everything. So why have we allowed ourselves to be stuck in some typecast, behavior patterns of ours? Yes, let's just read further. It's
As
things like
singers,
this. Yeah, it's things like this we have to keep pondering over. Yes, as singers.
as singers, we stay married to our safe material. As songwriters, we try to repeat a formula hit. In this way, artists who do not appear blocked to the outside eye experience themselves as blocked internally, unable to take the risk of moving into new and more satisfying artistic territory. Once we are willing to accept that anything worth doing might even be worth doing badly, our options widen. If we didn't if I didn't have to do it perfectly, I would try stand up comedy, modern dancing, whitewater rafting, archery, learning German, figure drawing, figure skating, being a platinum blonde, puppeteering, trapeze, water ballet, polo, wearing red lipstick, taking a culture class, writing short stories, reading my poetry in public, a spontaneous tropical vacation, learning to shoot video, learning to ride a bike, taking a watercolor class. In the movie Raging Bull, boxer Jake LaMotta, manager brother, explains to him why he should shed some weight and fight an unknown opponent. After an intricate spiral that leaves LaMotta baffled, he concludes, so do it. If you win, you win. And if you lose, you win. It is always that way with taking risks. To put it differently, very often, a risk is worth taking simply for the sake of taking it. There's something enlivening about expanding our self definition, and a risk does exactly that. Selecting a challenge and meeting it creates a sense of self empowerment that becomes the ground for further successful challenges. Viewed this way, running a marathon increases your chances of writing a full length play. Writing a full length play gives you a leg up on the marathon. Complete the following sentence. If I didn't have to do it perfectly, I would try.
So very important for all of us to understand that we have to become sans boundary. There should be no boundary. Whatever we want, we try. There should be nothing called ifs and buts. If this had didn't have to be done this way, I would do this. If not this, then this would happen. Suzanne Jeffers says, we cannot escape fear. We can only transform it into a companion that accompanies us on all our exciting adventures. Take a risk a day, one small or bold stroke that will make you feel great once you have done it. करके तो देखो, try at least. You have made so many boundaries for yourself, at least try. Wassily Kandinsky says, there is no must in art because art is free. So this is actually for everything. Do's and don'ts are something which is man-made. Life can be exactly how you want to create it. Leigh Brown says, shoot for the moon. Even if you miss it, you will land amongst the stars. That's what they say, right? Some people even say, make castles in the air, only then can you make them on Mother Earth. So at least attempt is very important. Who's given you this entire right to say, oh, I can't, I can't, I can't? Why can't you? Everything is possible. Now let's read about jealousy.
Jealousy. I've often heard is a normal human emotion. When I hear that, I think maybe your jealousy, not mine. My jealousy roars in the head, tightens the chest, massages my stomach lining with a cold fist as it searches out the best grip. I have long rewarded jealousy as my greatest weakness. Only recently have I seen it for the tough love friend that it is. Jealousy is a map. Each of our jealousy maps differs. Each of us will probably be surprised by some of the things we discover on our own. I, for example, have never been eaten alive with resentment over the success of women novelists, but I took an unhealthy interest in the fortunes and misfortunes of women playwrights. I was their harshest critic until I wrote my first play. With that action, my jealousy vanished, replaced by a feeling of camaraderie, camaraderie,
Camera.
camaraderie. My jealousy had actually been a mask for my fear of doing something I really wanted to do, but was not yet brave enough to take action toward. Jealousy is always a mask for fear. Fear that we aren't able to get what we want. Frustration that somebody else seems to be getting what is rightfully ours, even if we are too frightened to reach for it. At its root, jealousy is a stingy emotion. It doesn't allow for the abundance and multiplicity of the universe. Jealousy tells us there is room for only one poet, one painter, one whatever you dream of being. The truth revealed by the action in the direction of our dreams is that there is room for all of us. But jealousy produces tunnel vision. It narrows our ability to see things in perspective. It strips us of our ability to see other options. The biggest lie that jealousy tells us is that we have no choice but to be jealous. Perversely, jealousy strips us of our will to act when action holds the key to our freedom.
So why are we jealous? I think we pretty much got it right. Because we think that person has done better and there's only scope for that and that person has taken that. So now we can't do it. So we are jealous because that person has something which we can't, or so we say in our mind. But who said there's competition? Who said there's not place enough for 2, 3, 4, 10, 15 people in one stream? Who said that? Why have we made our mind so limited? Keshwan Nair says, with courage, you will dare to take risks, have the strength to be compassionate, and the wisdom to be humble. Courage is the foundation of integrity. So, how wonderful. If your foundation is strong, if you're committed to your cause, if you have courage, then whatever you want, you can create. At least you'll try. Try until you get there. So very important to for us to gauge this. Now today, because of this beautiful emotion, some call it beautiful, some call it bad. I say beautiful. Why? Because until you have jealousy, you don't know what path you're on. Sometimes it's a autocorrective path. So how do we gauge that we are jealous or not? Today the exercise is very lovely. It says a jealousy map. It's an exercise. Your jealousy map will have three columns. In the first column, name those whom you're jealous of. And please be sure, just don't try to be nobody's reading this assignment except for you. Next to each name, write why. Be as specific and accurate as you can. In the third column, list one action you can take to move forward, creative risk, and out of jealousy. So now you can have anything for jealousy. It could be somebody's thinner than you, somebody's richer than you, somebody's more talented than you, somebody's well spoken, somebody's she articulates very well, or somebody's fabulous at their business. It could be anything. It could be just, or somebody has, something which you don't have. Anything could be. When jealousy bites like a snake bite, it requires an immediate antidote. On paper, make your jealousy map. So examples are being given to us. Who? My sister Libby, I'm jealous of. Why? Because she has a real art studio. Action antidote, fix the spare room. Create yourself an art studio. Who said you can't have one? I'm jealous of my friend Ed. because she writes good crime novels. So try writing one. Who stopped me? If I'm fond of it, why not? I'm jealous of Anne Sexton. She's a famous poet. Now, why can't I publish my long hoarded poems? There's so many of them kept there. So why can't I? Even the biggest changes begin with small ones. Green is the color of jealousy, but it is also the color of hope and it's also the color of the heart chakra. So when you learn to harness its field energy on your own behalf, jealousy is part of the fuel towards a greener and more verdant future. So how wonderful. Where are you using that color? How are you using it depends upon you. Are you going green with envy or are you throwing compassion, love, hope, and creating something for yourself which you really wish, which you're feeling jealous from somebody for? Rather than being jealous, why can't we say, I'm inspired by this person to do something? But we choose such a negative emotion called jealousy because we that's our limited mind says, oh, this had to be done, she'd done it. Who says there's no scope for competition or there's no scope for more people? Archaeology exercise. Today we have another exercise on archaeology. The phrases that follow are most of your sleuth work. Very often we have buried parts of ourselves that can be uncovered by some digging. Not only will your answers tell you what you missed in the past, they will tell you what you can be doing now to comfort and encourage your artist child. It is not too late, no matter what your ego tells you. And it's never, never, never late. So Martin Ritz says, I don't have a lot of respect for talent. Talent is genetic. It's what you do with it that counts. How wonderful, right? So all of us are talented, but who's using the talent, who's tapping the talent where is what it is worth complimenting. Complete these phrases. As a kid, I missed the chance to. As a kid, I lacked. As a kid, I could have used. As a kid, I dreamed of being. As a kid, I wanted a. In my house, we never had enough. As a kid, I needed more. I'm sorry that I will never again see. For years, I have missed and wondered about. I beat myself up about the loss of. It is important to acknowledge our positive inventory as well as our shortfalls. Take positive stock of what good you have to build on in the present. Finish these phrases. I have a loyal friend in. One thing I like about my town is I think I have nice. Writing my morning pages has shown me I can. I am taking greater interest in. Very important for all of us to keep checking in to ourselves, answering these questions, taking off some kind of, filters that we put on ourselves, on our, the way we are. Number 6, I believe I'm getting better at. My artist has started to pay more attention to. My self care is. I feel more. Possibly my creativity is. So, whatever you think. And these last 5 questions, I'm sure there'll be some change in all of you would have found who's been doing diligently this artist dates or writing the morning pages. Claudia Black says, trust in yourself. Your perceptions are often far more accurate than you're willing to believe. So when you start listening to your higher guidance, you will know that it's always correct. It can never, never, ever cheat you. It can never go wrong because that is the right place where the source is coming from. Your problem is you don't believe it enough, and then you start procrastinating. "Nahi, ye galat hai. We should do like this." Start listening in. Start tuning in. Sanya, please read the tasks one by one.
Tasks. Make this phrase a mantra. Treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. Watercolor or crayon or calligraph this phrase. Post it where you will see it daily. We tend to think being hard on ourselves will make us strong, but it is cherishing ourselves that gives us strength.
Did you read about this? A lot of parents also, बच्चे को डांट के strong बना रहे हैं. No, it doesn't work like that. The softer you are, the gentler you are, the more love you give, the more you explain, that's when they understand much more. You can't make them tough by scolding them. That's absolute wrong. Sorry to say, but that's not the right parenting. I won't say wrong parenting, that's not the right parenting. You haven't grown up like that. Maybe you know others around you have grown up like that. Treating myself like a precious object will make me strong. If I have love, kindness, compassion for myself, then I will nurture. If I keep beating myself up, why did I eat this? Why have my weight gone up? I will never be able to lose weight. But the day I say it's okay, I had it, it's fine. I've had it, I'll share it also. My body will automatically burn it. So even if you haven't done something, your body will burn it because that's the command you're giving it. I don't know how many of you know creative visualization also works for getting our dreams come true. So start being more compassionate, more kind, and treat yourself very preciously because you are precious. And that's when you'll become strong. Number two,
Give yourself time out to listen to 20 minutes of music just for joy. You may want to
listen to
doodle
one
as
side
you
of an album just for joy. Where did you read 20 minutes?
in my book it says like that.
Really? Okay. So it says give
Yeah.
yourself time out to listen to one side of an album just for joy. You may want to doodle as you listen, allowing yourself to draw the shapes, emotions, thoughts you hear in the music. Notice how just 20 minutes can refresh you. Learn to take these mini artist dates to break stress and allow insight. So sometimes, music is balm to the soul. It's very important to listen to music that makes you happy just for the sake of it. Just listen to it. It'll give you such a, and music is in with Mother Nature is beautiful. It's in harmony. So please allow yourself to draw some shapes, whatever comes to your mind. People doodle while doing it. 20 minutes of music therapy is so beautiful. And if you can take yourself artistic date and you can break the stress and listen to music, how wonderful. Number three.
Take yourself into a sacred space, a church, a synagogue, library, grove of trees, and allow yourself to savor the silence and healing solitude. Each of us has a personal idea of what sacred space is. For me, a large clock store or a great aquarium store can engender a sense of timeless wonder. Experiment.
So find your sacred spaces. What are they? It could be within your house itself. It could be a reading corner in your house. It could be, anything in your house, or maybe it's somewhere outside. Where do you get? Where can you enjoy the silence? Where can you think there's healing happening? People have their own sacred spaces. Some people just hug a tree and there's a trees where their haven is. So just see what works for you. Experiment and you will find that place. Number four.
Create one wonderful smell in your house with soup, incense, fir branches, candles, whatever.
So whatever smell you like, whatever. It could be just a vanilla candle, just brightening up the dark. It could be some kind of thing, it could be something which is baked, whatever. Why are we told all of these things? If you realize that we are playing with the sensory skills, eyes, music, smell. We are being taught to open ourselves with some skill or the other. Now, again,
Wear your favorite item of clothing for no special occasion.
this is very important to treat yourself well, to dress up for yourself, not for others. Treat yourself to something smart and nice. Why not? Feel good about yourself. Why do people have to come and compliment you? Why do you have to step out to feel good? Why can't you be well dressed even at home? There are people who dress up at home just like a into rags, and when they go out, they're looking so beautiful. Why can't you be beautifully dressed at home if you feel comfortable? If you like it, why not? Number six.
Buy yourself one wonderful pair of socks, one wonderful pair of gloves, one wonderfully comforting, self loving something.
Whatever you believe in, of course, this is from a cold country they've written. So they're talking about socks and gloves. You can buy whatever you like, something which you love so much about. You can just pick it up. Number seven is again, it's therapy in itself. Let's talk about this.
Collage. Collect a stack of at least 10 magazines, which you will allow yourself to freely dismember. Setting a 20-minute time limit for yourself, tear literally through the magazines, collecting any images that reflect your life or interests. Think of this collage as a form of pictorial autobiography. Include your past, present, future, and your dreams. It is okay to include images you simply like. Keep pulling until you have a good stack of images, at least 20. Now take a sheet of newspaper, a stapler, or some tape or glue, arrange your images in a way that pleases you. This is one of my students' favorite exercises.
This is something all of us have done back in the school days also. It's just unleashing creativity, seeing what you like in the magazine. Somebody likes something written, somebody likes some fancy color, somebody likes some fancy image. Whatever you like, whatever pleases you. It's just if you think you want to do it, you can. If not, it's completely up to you. So Fernando Botero says, when you start a painting, it is somewhat outside you. At the conclusion, you seem to move inside the painting. So something that starts outwardly goes on to an inward journey. That's what we are all doing, right? We're seeing stuff outside and gradually we're inching in closer to our own substance, our own being. CJ Jung says when an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. So if you're sure about what's happening, can you create something? Now, if there's some unconscious thing which is just lying there, it'll manifest into real life if you're not tapping in well then. So if there is something, tap it right there so that it can be there beautifully. Otherwise, it'll unfold as some kind of manifestation that you haven't even manifested yet. Number 8.
Quickly list 5 favorite films. Do you see any common denominators among them? Are they romances, adventures, period pieces, political dramas, family epics, thrillers? Do you see traces of your cinematic themes in your collage?
So again, whatever you're doing, like now about movies, they'll also be your reflection. What do you like? It'll just depict very clearly through them. So whether you know about it or not, you will be able to understand, okay, this is where I'm heading for. There's many things which are unconsciously there, but we don't even know about them. Number 9.
Name your favorite topics to read about: comparative religion, movies, ESP, physics, rags to riches, betrayal, love triangles, scientific breakthroughs, sports. Are these topics in your collage?
You'd be very surprised to know that a lot of them get covered in the collages. When you look at them later, of course, you've read these points before, but if you hadn't read them, you realize that they're all covered. Number 10.
Give your collage a place of honor. Even a secret place of honor is all right. In your closet, in a drawer, anywhere that is yours. You may want to do a new one every few months, or collage more thoroughly a dream you are trying to accomplish.
Also, we've done a lot about vision boards. So if that's what resonates with you, do that because that really makes sense. But this is also just to give you, make you discover what's hidden inside which you haven't been able to find out yet. So let's do the check-in. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? Have you allowed yourself to daydream a few creative risks? Are you coddling your artist child with childhood loves? This is now your reflection time. Very important for us to analyze where are we in life. Has something stumbled upon? Have we done something which we have never done before? Are we coming to something new, some new findings about ourselves? Number 2, did you do your artist date this week? Did you use it to take any risk? What did you do? How did it feel? So initially, your artist date was probably very, very simple. Gradually, start testing something which you've never tried before. So yes, if you are those ones, it's for you. Number 3, did you experience any synchronicity this week? So anything synchronous would could be something that you really want to do and that's coming your way. You want to read a book and somebody gives you that book, or you want to read a book and somebody says, "Okay, come on, you can borrow it from me." These are all synchronicities that you're looking for something and they are coming to you on a platter. The universe is serving you whatever you want. Have you started seeing that? Have you started appreciating it, thanking it? Number 4, were there any issues this week that you would consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. So many, many issues come out. Okay, this is what I really want to tackle, and let me work on them. And if there are such issues, please write them down. Very important to write them down and do them very beautifully. So thank you, Ritesh sir, for showcasing the book, and thank you, Sania, for reading. Any questions about this so far? I don't even know how many of us are actually doing the artist way week on week, assignments, or are we just listening on every Tuesday and just letting it unfold? Because if we don't practice, then we not be, you have, okay, great. All right, Shivani is, Shelly is, but I'm not sure how many of us are. That's the point. Helping others too. That's nice, Shivani. Good to help others. Doing very nice, Anu. So yes, just see very few you yourselves know people aren't really into it. Shubhra is, Prachi Divan is, Sunita. Okay, she's complimenting. So yes, so just see if it's working for you. If you're doing it, Rima is doing it. Okay, so the men aren't doing it. Seems the women, some of them are doing it. All right, each of their own. Can't say much. I guess that's also about a block of time that okay, I don't have the time for doing this. Nonetheless, I'm sure everyone's on a journey and they know exactly. So thank you for seeing Riku and Naveen that you're doing it every day. Lovely. Thank you so much. All right, Ritesh. So let's move on to the heart thoughts. And can I have reader for the day? You started, Pratimaji. Very nice. At least you started. Shivani really helps me a lot. Very nice, Milita. Excellent. All right. Today is about resolutions. And of course, it talks about New Year resolutions. This year, I do the mental work for change. Go for the joy. Make that your motto this year. Go for the joy. Life is here for you to enjoy today. How wonderful. People are looking at the past, the present, the future. Why not right now? Today is beautiful. Today is when I'm enjoying it. So, very, very important to read. Yes. Karishma, will you want to read the heart thought? Thank you.
Many of you start New Year resolutions on the first of the year, but because you don't make internal changes, the resolutions fall away very quickly. Until you make the inner changes and are willing to do some mental work, nothing out there is going to change. The only thing you need to change is a thought, only a thought. Even self-hatred is only hating a thought you have about yourself. What can you do for yourself this year in a positive way? What would you like to do for yourself this year that you did not do for yourself last year? What would you like to let go of this year that you clung to so tightly last year? What would you like to change in your life? Are you willing to do the work that will bring about those changes?
So, very important for us to analyze our thoughts. Thoughts is all where everything starts from. So, if you have self hatred, that's also a thought. If you have something against your bodies, some body part or some physical image issues or about your work, that's also a thought. So, mental work is important. Mental work where all of us are growing into people we want to be. Affirmations, thinking on those lines, creatively visualizing, and then moving out of shackles of what we've made ourselves into. We've kind of jailed ourselves, confined ourselves into some kind of imagery. Time to break those cages and just move out. So, yes, thank you, Sanya, and thank you, Karishma. Today, I want to do a channeled meditation with all of you in a very beautiful voice. I look up to this lady, and she connects the dots for me, and it's channeled through a man called Nishant, and so it's very beautiful. The Saptrishis have channeled it. Now, this is for Mother Earth, and it's for all of us to know that we are the channels of light. So, this came in my life last year in March. Little did I know that time that I'm a light worker, and it's absolutely beautiful. So, I just thought we should all be doing it today. So, for that, let's just watch our backs, our postures, our back straight, our feet firmly placed in the ground below. And whenever she's saying something, please go with it. It's absolutely beautiful, the meditation, and you'll really enjoy it. I'm very sure about that. So let's go for it.
Anchoring the light meditation. Whenever you practice this meditation, you not only influence a major shift in your energy field, but also in that of your surroundings. If you meditate on this light for 7 weeks consecutively, it can clear out the negative emotional baggage and the negative cords that drain your energy. It will help you harmonize your mind, body, and soul. This is our promise. The rishis are happy to help you because you are helping them in spreading the light and helping their sister Gaia, Earth, who is hurt and troubled. Let the vision of a peaceful planet and universal oneness expand and the energy merge. So be it. So be it. So be it. Steps for meditation. Request the Divine Masters and Maharishis to guide you, support you, and protect you while you do this meditation. We begin with the Shambhala light invocation. Light, light in me. Light, light around me. Light, light that is a part of me. Light, light of which I'm a part of. Light, light, light. Guide me, O light. Fill me, O light. Heal me, O light. Protect me, O light. I surrender to you, O light. I am light. I am light. I am light. So be it. And now, do 7 rounds of deep breathing to balance the Ida and Pingala nadis, which are the main left and right nerve channels carrying the cosmic energy in your energy body. And now, visualize an ocean of shimmering bluish white light above you. And imagine your Brahmarandra, your crown chakra, which is located at the top of your head. Visualize it open up in the form of a 1,000-petal white-colored lotus. Start accepting the cosmic light of the Masters in the form of the bluish white light energy pouring into your Brahmarandra, your crown chakra, located at the top of your head. Let it pour down and fill your entire body, organ by organ. It is as if you are an empty bottle, and this light is filling your entire body, just as liquid flows in the bottle. It is filling you up from head to toe. At this point, the central nadi in your body, called the Sushumna nadi, is also getting filled with this brilliant healing light. After this light has filled your entire body, visualize it coming out from the pores of your skin, and imagine this light, which is now emanating from your skin, encompassing all that is around you. It is now glowing and covering your whole body in its brilliance. You are now sitting in a ball of healing divine bluish white light, and it radiates for about 7 feet in all directions from your body. And now keep your hands on your heart and mentally start sending out ripples of this healing energy in the form of concentric circles all around you. Visualize it as if you have become a radio station, transmitting waves of pure consciousness. Alternatively, you can repeat the universal laws as a mantra: love and light, love and light, while sending out ripples of healing energy. These laws also then become your intention of sending out the healing energy. Spread the radius of these ripples of light and let it fill your room. Your entire home, the space around your home, your neighborhood, the whole city, the whole state. The entire country, and the whole of the earth. And then the whole universe. this energy blesses and heals everything that comes in contact with it, illuminating the minds and hearts of everyone. It connects the whole of the universe. Keep spreading it until you feel totally connected to the universe. This is how you anchor the spiritual light of healing energy and pure consciousness. Focus your intention on spreading the love, light, peace, and oneness in the universe by sending out these ripples of consciousness in the form of the spiritual light. And this Vedic shloka can also be recited. Loka samastha sukhina bhavantu, which means let all planes of existence be comfortable, at poise, and contented. Let there be peace and harmony in the universe. So be it. Towards the end of the meditation, you can raise your hands in the blessing position and use the excess spiritual energy you created to bless your health, bless your finances, your career, relationships, etc. You can also focus your intentions to bless specific areas on earth or specific people in your life going through a rough time. Bless them with courage, love, and light. Before ending your meditation, you can chant some spiritual mantra like Om Namah Shivaya or Om Shanti Shanti. You can repeat any specific affirmation for world peace or mentally pray. After finishing the last step, mentally thank the masters, Maharishis, and all the gurus for healing you and making you a divine channel of light. Rest for a minute or two. take a few deep breaths and slowly open your eyes with a big smile on your face. The usual duration of this meditation could be a minimum of 10 minutes or can be stretched as per your comfort.
Thank you. You can all open your eyes. How was experience? It's a channel meditation. Very, very, very powerful. So yeah, it's one of my favorites. I do it every day. So yeah, I thought I must share this with you. Yes, it's amazing. Absolutely. It is divine. It's channeled, of course. Lovely. Excellent. Okay. So any questions, any doubts? Raviji has slept. He found it to come. Oh, okay, I thought he had slept. So lovely. All right. So any questions, any doubts about Artist's Way, about anything in our journey? About 1/3 is left now. We've pretty much covered a lot of it. So if any questions, let me know. If not, wonderful. Okay, cool. So thank you, everyone. Be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And we shall meet each other tomorrow. Until then, take care. Lots of love and light. Thank you, Ritesh sir. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Sanjay sir. Thank you, Shweta. I believe no questions. All right. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Lots of love.